212 Poetic Adages of Imam Ali, peace be upon him. 100. Verily, when the feet of the well-mannered slides a bit, he will fall down to the beds of silk and happiness. 101. If you do not know and did not ask about wisdom, then who knows if you are ignorant while you do not know. 102. And the shame is to be honorable amongst the people, and at the time of war you are an escaper. 103. Did you not see that poverty is hoped to be richness, and wealth is feared to be down into poverty? 104. For money covers all the flaws, and in poverty lies humility and lowering down. 105. Take care of the brothers of clearness, for they are pillars when you ask for their help and are supportive. 106. And it is not much to have 1,000 friends and companions, and one enemy is even too much. 107. Verily, young people are excused if they did not know, and any excuse is not accepted from an old man. 108. If the life bit you, then wait for a relief, for it shall come to the one waiting for it. 109. And take it easy, for the matters are in the palm of God with their destiny. 110. Who goes along with life shall curse its companionship, and shall take from its nice times and the hard ones. So, don't suffer. 111. How many a bite that brought death to the biter, like a seed of wheat that broke the neck of a little bird. 112. Then say, for who cursed the troubles of time? You wronged the time, but curse the humans. Well, the disbelieving, disobeying humans. 113. All the benefits of this life are just ego, and no happiness lasts for a happy one. Now, they don't mean ego in the psychological sense, but perhaps pride or exalted position, because ego in the psychological sense is the construction of consciousness. 114. Wisdom is an ornament, thus be an owner for it, and be a seeker for it as long as you live. 115. And be a monk that was fed faith and pious, gaining religion, and praying for wisdom. Now, in the print, praying is spelt with the wrong vowels. 116. And know you may be guided that wisdom is the best relief that became easygoing for its seeker. 117. And silence makes clear thoughts of the kid, and he might be a silly one of ill manners. 118. And let go of joking, for there may be a spell of a joker, that he brought to you badness that was not avoidable. 119. Satisfaction provided me with every honor. Is there any honor more honorable than satisfaction? 120. Let go of caution for this life, and do not be greedy about living. 121. And do not gather all the money, for you do not know for whom you do it. 122. For fortune is divided, and the hard doing of a man is not useful. 123. Poor is every one that becomes greedy, And rich is he who gets satisfied. Poor is he of everyone that becomes greedy, and rich is he who gets satisfied. 124. O owner of the sin, do not despair, for God is passionate and passionate. 125. If you seek the level of the nobles, then do the good and be just. 126. And ask for fortune from the merciful's gift, for there is no giver except of Allah. 127. He did not compensate who begs by his begging, even if he got what he wants by begging. 128. If life is considered valuable, then the reward of Allah is higher and nobler. 129. And if the fortunes are by luck and divided, then being less careful about gaining is more beautiful. 130. And if money is collected to be left over, then why, with such left over, does a man become a miser? 131. And if the bodies are made to be dead, then the killing of someone by a sword for Allah is better. Now, that doesn't mean that we just, in the name of, we have to, in the cause of. So, we're not doing wars of conquest or conversion in the Islamic vision. We can find out more elsewhere, but, 132. And there's no goodness in a promise if it was a lie, and no goodness there in a saying without an action. 133. If you have a wisdom and without a mind, then you are like a sandal that has no foot. 134. And if you are an owner of a mind, but not a wise man, then you are like a foot that has no sandal. 135. Life is but like a shade that will go away, or like a guest that stayed at night, then traveled. 136. Give life, and it will be driven to you. Is not the destiny of that one to end? 137. I will be satisfied as long as I live with my day's supply, and shall not seek the abundance of money. 138. Your happiness in this life is an ego and a regret, and your living in this life is impossible and false. 139. Take supplies from this life, for you will be leaving, and start for death shall be revealed, no doubt. 140. I do not accept all life with the pride, and I do not buy the high levels with humility. 141. A straight seeker is not like who was a guider and humiliated. 142. The kid dies from a falling of his tongue, and the human does not die from falling of the foot. Well, people fall and die, but 143. Death is verily a sip that will be taken. Do not be afraid, and pack for traveling. Prepare for your afterlife. 144. Be patient for the great event, and cure your injuries with beautiful patience. 145. And do not be scared if you had a hardship, for you were in ease, for a long time. 146. And do not despair, for desperation is infidelity, and may Allah make you satisfied from a little. 147. I saw the hardship followed by easiness, and the saying of Allah is the most true of all sayings. 148. And neglecting the favor is a call for removing it, and giving thanks makes it last. 149. If this wisdom is to be taken by wishes, then no ignorant people will be left in this life. 150. Work hard and do not be lazy or ignorant, For the regretful end is, for the lazy one, 151, and I tasted the bitterness of things, and no taste is more bitter than begging, 152, and did not see in troubles a more dangerous thing and harder than being an enemy to the men, 153. The rich is the rich one with his heart, the rich is not the rich one with his money, 154. And so is the generous, he is the generous with his manners, and the generous is not the one of high tribe and family, 155. And so the scholar is the scholar with his conditions, and not the scholar of speech and sayings, 156. You are loved by some people when turned into a wealthy one, and every wealthy man is glorified in the eyes, 157. Take care of three and keep them a secret, your bravery and your wisdom and your money, 158. Do not be afraid of being thin, for it may be the fat one is slain and the thin is left over, 159. And make your heart for humility as a house, for humility for a noble one is beautiful, 160. If you are given the matters of some people in one night, then you should know you are responsible for them, 161. And if you are carried to the graves for a funeral, then know that you are, after that, should be carried, 162. Oh, you who got busy with this life, you got tricked by the long hopes, 163. Death comes suddenly, and the grave is the box of the deeds, 164. Protect the soul, and let it do what makes it pretty, and you shall live peacefully, and sayings about you shall be so, 165. And if the fortune of today got narrowed, then wait until tomorrow. May the troubles of time get away from you, 166. The man of a rich soul is glorified though with less money, and the man of money, richness, gets rich though he is humiliated, 167. And there's no goodness in the affection of a colorful person. When the winds change direction, he goes where it goes, 168. For how many brothers are there when you count them? But in times of troubles, they are but a little, 169. For money shall end soon, and wisdom shall remain with no end. Well, nowadays, the value of money slips. 170. And if you need something from a generous one, then meeting him is enough, as is to greet him as well, 171. Do not wrong if you are able, for injustice's end is to regret, 172. Your eyes sleep, and the wronged one is awake. Praise upon you, and the eyes of Allah did not sleep. 173. If you are in a favor, then to care about it, for the sins takes away the favors. And 172 reminds you that it's not your relationship status to people, it's whether you wrong each other or not. And if you've been good to people, don't worry, sleep. God watches over you. But if you've done wrong to people, they're keep on thinking about that. And their prayers can be granted and addressing the wrong. 174. And if you give your soul what it desires, for when it is satisfied, regret is revealed. 175. If a matter is completed and its flaw appeared, then expect a destruction when they say it is done. 176. Live as a generous one, or a miser, if you like. Sadness is a must in this life. 177. Your life is attached to sadness. Life is not passed without sadness. 178. Life does not come one day with happiness and completes it. 179. Do not be for life with an injured heart, for fortune is taken care of by Allah the Generous. 180. Be with a rich soul and be satisfied with the little. Die and do not ask for something from a mean one. 181. For the injury is the injury of the tongue, and may there be a saying that drops with blood. 182. Do not leave a secret except with an honorable one, and the secret with the honorables is kept. 183. By Allah, wronging is an ill luck bringer, and the sinner is the unjust. 184. Avoid the company of the mean ones, and gather around the honorables, sons of the honorables. 185. And do not trust life, for one day for life is a separated system. 186. And be for wisdom a seeker and a searcher, and debate in what is allowed and what is not. 187. And if a friend betrayed you, do not betray him, and keep his saving and his cursing. And it's important that we have those discussions in society about what is supported by religion and what is not. 188. And do not have a grudge against the brothers, and be a forgiver. Thus you are safe from sins. 189. A life that turns with its people, and every day for 2 times. Life turns with people for 2 times a day. 190. Do not obey for a creature, for greed, for this is a weakness for you in faith. 191. And ask Allah for what he has in his keepings, for his command is done between Kaf and Nun. Kaf and Nun are 2 letters in Arabic, and they form the word kun, which means be, the imperative form of to be. 192. How good is religion and life when they gather. May Allah never bless a life without a religion. 193. And if life betrayed you, then be patient and be, for the sake of Allah, of good manners. 194. And if the generous one give you a gift, then, with giving thanks, let your tongue go. 195. Divorce this life for 3 times and ask for another wife for yourself. 196. The person is measured by a person when he walks with him. 197. The soul cried for life, and it knows that safety is to leave what it has. 198. No house is there to live in for the man after death, except of that one which he built before death. 199. Where are the kings that ruled until they drank from the cup of death? 200. Our money is for the heirs that we collected, and our houses for the ruins of time we are building. 201. How many cities in the horizon were built that went to be ruins, and death got closer to their people? Now, the divorcing of the life for 3 times, is the final divorce that, you can't just recall each other, at least until someone else has it. So the divorce, so be attached to something other than just life for life. (202) Do not blame the slaves of Allah, for your fortune will come when you are allowed to. A lot of people are like, oh, well, if I do the right thing and we're a good community and stuff, that's why we don't have stuff. And it's like, no. 203, Spread your wealth and protect your poverty. That shall tire your interior without showing it. 204. May there be a day that made you cry, and when you had been in another, you cried for. Oh, there may be a day that you cried about, and in another day you're going to be cried for. So again, a reference to death, or the lost opportunity. I've seen someone break down because they couldn't be with me. That wasn't easy, but 205. And how many are there for a law of hidden gifts, so hard to be understood even by the smart one? 206. How many of easy times that came after hardships that relieve the trouble with a sad heart? 207. And how many matters that hurt you in the morning and the happiness comes to you at nighttime? 208. Cure your soul with satisfaction, or else it would ask from you over it necessities. 209. The soul is scared for being poor, but poverty is better than a wealth that hovers over it. That's going to punish it, right? 210. The wealth of the soul is satisfaction, and if it did not accept, then all what is on earth is not enough for it. 211. The honors are purified manners, and faith is their first, and mind is their second. 212. Your life is attached to anxiety. Life is not passed without worries. And, a lot of these require some context to understand more, like life changing twice a day for the people. Did they mean the ascent, like the morning, and then the afternoon, the descent? Or do they mean night and day? Or what exactly do they mean by that? The person is measured by a person when he walks with him. You got to protect your company, people.